Hello and welcome back to episode 43 of the MotoGP Career Mode. Today's episode we will be off to Misano for one of the final few rounds of the season. We're getting into the last quarter of the season now. We'll be wrapping up the MotoGP Season 1 in the next week or so. But first off, we have very little to do in the team. For my own team, my junior team, I basically am broke, 20,000, I can't afford anything, so I have made the decision on who I'm riding for next year. You will find out in a second, but first a small bit more. So I'm not going to deal anything more with Aprilia. I have notified Aprilia I will be leaving at the end of the year, so I've been frozen out. They won't give me any new parts for the rest of the season, so the bike development will be frozen, so I cannot do any more development. So all my money and resources that I can have will be going into my team for the Moto3 team, so next year, so that next season I should have a very competitive Moto3 lineup. But as you're about to see on screen, the bike we will be riding for season 2, I suppose, will be season 4 of the whole championship. Season 2 of MotoGP will be Suzuki. So over 30, I think 32% is what it says on screen. You'll see it now. I don't, because I'm still in the game as of recording. But yeah, about 32% of you voted for Suzuki. Close second was Yamaha, and Ducati and Honda were a bit far off in third and fourth. So which team, you might ask? Now you can see here I will go and show you establishment of new teams. So for Suzuki, we have My World Suzuki, we have Suzuki Parts Europe, and then we have Hertz Suzuki team. Confused myself. I think that's autumn. So yeah, we have 3 teams. Now what I will do is I will go through each team myself in my own time, go through the liveries, see which ones I like, and I will decide on which one. From my knowledge, they are all the same. So yeah, they're the same part, so I just want to make sure that the bike is the same in all of them. Yeah, so regardless of which team, which sponsor I'll go with, the bike will be identical, so it won't make effect. It'll just be down to who I want to ride with. So My World, I'll probably rule that out because their livery is pretty much white and you can't change that. I've made that mistake with the Aprilia one. Parts Europe is black, so again we'll be going with a black livery, and then black will be the yellow. So we'll play around with them in my own time, and we'll start negotiations with them in the coming weeks. So yeah, it has been announced we will be leaving Aprilia. Aprilia has shut us out of development, and we're heading off to Suzuki, the Japanese manufacturer. Hopefully can we get some more success with them. It's going to be tough. It's going to be an undeveloped bike again. We'll be starting with at the bottom. I believe in the project, but for now we need to finish this season off. We need to put all our resources into getting me to the best level I can and getting into the Suzuki team at a high level as possible. Anyway, a long enough intro to this episode. I hope you are happy with your decisions. So yeah, delighted to be going to Suzuki. But anyway, we have an Aprilia season to finish, and now we are off to Misano. So we actually managed to get straight through to Q2 again this weekend. Somehow we managed to sneak into P3. So Q2 2 times in a row. So here we are in our Q2 lap. It's getting unusual to say that, being into Q2, very rare for myself. Basically it came out in FP3, and Miguel Oliveira just happened to come out of the pits just ahead of me, and I did a few laps, and my lap time was good enough to get second in the session, and I think 4th overall for all of free practice. So pretty damn good if you ask me. But anyway, here we are in qualifying. I don't expect much because my pace on my own isn't horrible, but it's not as good as what I could do behind someone. So again, probably top 6 would be a brilliant result. If we can make that, top 10 is more realistic. But I absolutely adore this Misano circuit as we go 0.268 under. That sector there, we seem to be incredibly strong. So now we have this very fast part to track through Bono and into the very tricky fast right corners, right out to the curb, using all of the track, taking as much corner speed as possible. And now we're coming down into the final split sector, and we are still 0.2 under. We are on an absolute incredible lap here. Current pole position time is Jack Miller 1:32.0. We are on to beat that and set a 1:31 as it stands. Into the final corner, Misano Get it pretty nicely, get it up, get it on the fat piece. It's already pretty as running to the line, up through the gears. What are we going to do? Provisional pole. I can't believe it. And we actually managed to get pole, our first pole position of the season, a 31.5. We got it by less than 10th over Fabio Quartararo. So an absolute incredible qualifying session here in Misano. First pole of the year. So you can see most of the grid are running hard fronts, medium rears, like I've opted myself. It's going to be a tricky race. We're going to start see can we just get a good start and see what we can do from there. But yeah, it's going to be a long race. I think it's 9 laps, so it's going to be tricky. I obviously got a podium in Silverstone, then a 0 and last time out when I crashed, so we'll see. I wouldn't be holding my breath that I can win this race. I'd be shocked to even get pole. If I can get a good start and get away with the leaders, maybe they can pull me away from the chasing group. We'll see from there. But anyway, 5 red lights. Here we are on the grid. 5 red lights and we are off. We get a very good start. Pull 2 tenths already on Quartararo down into turn 1. We're slightly wide there, and we actually contact with Fabio in turn 1. There's a crash further back, doesn't say who. Unfortunately for me, I don't see anyone down in the top 8. But we managed to negotiate the first sector somewhat cleanly. We went a slightly bit of deep into turn 4. But we can use the power of the Aprilia now up this back straight. What a fantastic track this is, Misano. Absolutely adore it, one of my all-time favourite tracks. Funnily enough, I actually years and years ago didn't like this track for some reason. And the early games, the curbs were a bit funky and didn't really get on well with them. But then I was doing a league here or something and I just started getting into a really nice groove and I was quick, and when you're quick at a track you like it. And then I've been there again in real life since, and it holds a special place now to me, Misano. And here we are leading, so it would be fitting to get my first pole position here. Shame we won't get a first podium here because we already beat that at Silverstone, but you never know, we might get a first race when we have a 0.6 of a lead here at the moment as we come into the final sector of lap 1. Late Espargaro on the fully factory Aprilia is in P6, so the Aprilia is showing signs of improvement. I still don't think that I made a decision on leaving was wrong, even though there's not one Suzuki in the top 8 here, but we won't look into that. End of lap 1, and we still hold the lead from Quartararo and Miller. Now as I thought Quartararo just came up to the crash, but now he's there again in second, so a small technical glitch there that gave me a fright. So I don't know what happened there, but again we run it deep into Rio, just struggling with this hard front to get us stopped. Coming through turn 6, we have a nice little gap of 0.4, so we're actually holding our own at the moment. We're not going too badly. I did kind of expect that the top 6, top 7 would just pull past me and beat me up, because even when in free practice when I followed Miguel Oliveira, I wasn't able to stick with him brilliantly. He was just a good kind of marker that happened to come out of the pits, so it was quite unusual. But anyway, you can see there's a big train as we come out of Tremonto and down into the fastest part of the track. It's going to really send it in here. Nicely done, just running up, touching the outside curb and bring it back in for turn 12, out to the curb again and then into 13. And we come into this lovely tight right hand or Caro. It's a very tricky corner, but I love it the way you can really aggressively push the front in. And now we come up to Misano corner, the final corner on the track for the second lap in a row, and we still have the lead. This is incredible. This is a great learning experience for me, leading a MotoGP race, setting the pace. We set a 32.0, so not a bad lap at all. Considering we're on race tires, that's only half a second off of what I did in qualifying to get my pole position. Fabio isn't giving up yet. He is quite close to behind me as we get our... Oh, I thought we were going to get our first track limit on there. We got away with one that time. That time we didn't though. We just take it too much inside curb and touch the green. But nonetheless, that has brought Quartararo quite close to me, but we are pulling away on the straight. We got a much better exit. hard on the brakes. A small little kicker there. Every lap you'll see I kick that rear end over the small little bit of a kicker into turn 9, I think it is. Once again, Tramonto getting it massively wide, struggling just to get the front turned in on a full fuel load. Flying through Corvone once again, and we've about half a second over Quartararo, so we actually are possibly on for a win today. I don't want to say it too early, because we're running wide in Carros. Tight corners, I just have a small lack of faith in the front end, and it's put me under a slight bit of pressure. That has brought Quartararo right onto the back of my RS GP. So let's see what we can do now for the rest of the race with him ever so close, right on the back of me. He's bringing Jack Miller too, and it looks like there's a bit of a gap between Miller and Zarco from P3 to P4. But we shall see as the race goes on. Now Maverick and Vinales in P6 has taken away my fastest lap of the race. We were on a brilliant first sector, we're up at 0.4, nearly half a second at one point. So we're on to take that back as of now. Into Quersha, just running it slightly deep, but we can square it off quite well on this Aprilia. I think since the announcement that I will be leaving and that I will be signing for Suzuki, it's taken the pressure off me. Maybe I've ridden slightly better this weekend. As I said, I touched the green at my second track limit warning of the race, but yeah, it looks like I'm riding quite well at the moment. But I said all year I've been riding very well. I've been getting the most out of the Aprilia that I can get, and still the results haven't been there. So it's quite strange now that we've given up on the project of the satellite Aprilia team. We get that beautiful down there, and we make up so much time on our previous lap delta. But as I was saying, it's quite odd that now that I'm leaving the bike and I have no interest in developing and trying to win on it, that I'm leading a race in Misano. This is for me like Rossi in 2012 at Misano. 31.8, back to the fastest lap. Now here we are on lap 8, Miller and Zarco. Quartararo has disappeared. I think he ran a software because he's not even in the top 8 anymore. He's gone backwards, which is poor for his championship. But Francesco Bagnaia is only 5th, so he's not losing too much. But we are on the penultimate lap. Just have a look at them lap times: 31.8, 31.7, 31.6. We have been pretty Lorenzo-esque in this episode. So yeah, it's quite odd that as soon as we announce we're leaving, we're on the pace. We're doing a bit of a Lorenzo here if we can bring home for the victory. But we still have a lap and a half, or half a lap after this one to go. And Miller, we seem to pull out in the very fast stuff. The Ducati doesn't really want to pull there, but in the tight twisty stuff they seem to really be good on the brakes. And we're coming up now into the final sector. We have one lap to go, and we're one lap away from winning our first MotoGP race. We just need to stay steady now and do what we've done all race. We're good on fuel, the tyres feel good, bike feels fine, there's no issue there. We just need to ride the best lap of our MotoGP career now. Final lap time here in Misano. We still lead, we've led ever since turn 1. Miller has the fastest lap at the moment, but we won't worry about that. He's 0.3 of a second behind. Just spinning up there using all of the rest of the tyre now, because the last lap we need to push as hard as we can. We're running a little bit hot into Rio, managed to square it off. Miller's right there now, I can hear his Del Medici right behind me. Come through turn 6 now, getting it up into power 3 just to use that additional bit of fuel just to make sure we're as far ahead of Miller so he can't even attack me into the final sectors. Hard on the brakes down into turn 8, Quersha. We are getting there, we're on course for victory here. This is going to be incredible if we can get this one. We just need to stay focused now into this final corner, take a nice wide line, and we get a perfect apex at Tramonto. Now only a handful of corners left. We just need to nail Corvone, and that could be victory if we get this sector done perfectly. And look at that, absolutely on limit high stakes stuff here, and we are coming into the final sector in the lead, down into this lovely Lovely corner here, Caro, and this time as well we get this absolutely perfect. This has been an incredible final lap. We've pulled out 0.8 of a second over Jack Miller. When the pressure's on, we have responded. I can't believe we're going to win. One corner to go, Misano corner here on the Aprilia. We've managed to do it coming out to the last corner. We're about to win on the Aprilia. We've managed to win our first race. I still can't get over this, that we managed to win by 0.3 in the end over Miller. Simply stunning. That was the best race I've ridden on this game. Best race I've done in first person ever by far. That was so intense. To ride a GP bike in first person is incredibly hard. And it gets us ahead of Leighton Spargo in the championship. Gets us 100 points. We're up to P7 in the team championship, which is pretty good since I'm a one-man team. We're ahead of Repsol, Honda, Petronas, Yamaha. And the team that I'm leaving has jumped ahead of the team I'm joining, so maybe I shouldn't be too happy with that. But what can you do? I don't have my hands on the Suzuki yet, so when I get my hands on that Suzuki, should be able to do a bit more than Mir and Rins are doing at the moment. But nonetheless, I'm going to leave that there. This has been one of the best episodes, episode 43 I think it is. And yeah, what an incredible episode. I was so happy when I won that race. You could probably hear it in the commentary when I into the last sector. I was getting all excited again watching it back. It was brilliant. It was doing a Lorenzo, like just the pressure off after announcing I'm leaving, and incredible. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one.